The modding scene is completely taken over in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, although the game just came out a little over a month ago. There are hundreds, if not thousands of mods at this point, consisting of different character mods, either completely switching a character around or giving them a previous skin from a previous game, or an entirely new skin. But there also are some music packs that replace some of the music in the game, some HUD mods that replace renders but also some of the interface, and there are even voice packs that go ahead and give characters that never had a voice in the game. Modding has always been a staple in the Sonic series, and Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is no different. But with there being so many mods just so little into the release of the game, it can be a little intimidating to pick out the best mods to give you the best experience while playing the game. And while that answer might be a little bit different for everyone, as everyone has their own preferences in mods and characters, I'm here to give my opinion and take on what the top 10 mods are so far in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. So with that being said, let's jump into my top 10 list of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds mods. Kicking things off at number 10 is going to be Peppermint's Racing All Afternoon Pack. This is going to be a pack that replaces quite a few different characters within the game. The idea that the mod creator Peppermint went ahead and did is basically he is trying to recreate the adventure/classic style of each of these characters. And a lot of these remind me of the Yuji Uekawa art style that we see in the adventure games, most notably the Sonic Adventure opening. But in this mod, this goes ahead and replaces Sonic, Super Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Metal Sonic, Blaze, Big, and even adds a mystery character I'll share with you at the end. But all of these characters look amazing. Some of my personal favorites are going to be Knuckles, with not only having an incredible looking model that looks very similar to his adventure style, but also giving him somewhat of a darker skin. This is just really fitting for Knuckles and is definitely my most played character within this mod pack. Another great one is Shadow, which looks very similar to his Adventure 2 style, where his quills are a little bit more blown out. I've always really liked this design on Shadow and wouldn't mind seeing his quills done like this again in the future. And of course, another great looking model is none other than the blue guy himself, Sonic, which looks very similar to, like I was saying, the adventure opening in Sonic Adventure done by Yuji Uekawa. This is a mod pack I've used quite a bit because of how cool it actually looks, and honestly for my nostalgia for the Adventure series being the first Sonic games that I ever played. But even in an unbiased opinion, I still think the adventure style of the characters looks amazing and is some of the best in the series. The other characters look great, those just happen to be my top 3 and not to ramble too long about the mod. But the last thing I'll talk about is the mystery character that this creator went ahead and slid into the mod pack. And that's Fang. Fang actually goes ahead and replaces 9 in the game, and why he is in this, I'm not 100% sure. I love that Fang is a character inside of this mod pack, and it's a huge bonus to it, and a character that should have just been playable from the beginning of the game. But his model looks great, he even has his own custom stickers in the game, and it's just really a cool touch done inside of the mod pack. The only thing that I would say that I would want a little bit different about the mod pack is potentially making Fang a separate mod. Now, I love that Fang is in it and you can keep him in the mod pack, but I think having Fang as a separate mod for people that don't want to necessarily use the Peppermint pack, or just want to use Fang by itself with the normal cast, is a really good option as well. But this mod is great, and huge shout out to Peppermint, who went ahead and created this mod pack. Coming in at number 9 is Surge CrossWorlds. Now, Surge has become a quite popular character within the community, and it seems like every Sonic game that comes out, there is a mod for Surge, and they go completely crazy on every detail of the mod. And this one is by far no different. There's quite a few people that worked on this mod, but each of them did an amazing job. But not only the model, but also the custom voice acting that goes into this character.
Oh, I'm gonna savor this. You're gonna be nothing but a smear on the track.
But also even the custom icons for this. This mod goes over Shadow and is a bunch of fun to use, and is definitely the best way to be using Surge if you're a fan of her. Another really cool detail that they went ahead and did is they put 2 mods in one, where they have separate downloads, but you can basically decide between the 2 if you want to use her rider style, which basically gives her an outfit based on the way that she looked in the IDW comics, but also just her normal style, what she wears every day in the IDW comics whenever we see her. Surge is by far one of the best characters in the IDW comics, and each of the creators for this mod did her really good justice. And also just huge shout out to the voice acting work, as they completely redid all of the voice lines for Surge and did an amazing job at that. This is a really fitting voice for the character. I do somewhat wish that it replaced a character that was different from Shadow in my opinion. Just being that Shadow is one of my most played characters in the game, it would be nice to have this mod always equip and say replace a different character that wasn't super fitting, but it could have potentially been that it was easier to mod her over Shadow. But this is a mod that I have used quite a bit, and I absolutely love every detail of it. And at number 8, we have the All NPC Racers mod. This is a super big quality of life change that I have personally just always kept on whenever I'm using the Grand Prix or Race Park mode of the game. Where this basically will take every single character in the game, whether it's part of the main cast, the AI racers, or DLC, and will throw them in as CPUs of the races for any of the single player modes, which is a great feature. This will take characters like the Prime character, the AI racers, the Werehog, Hatsune Miku, and also the Minecraft DLC, and will completely throw them in your Grand Prix, giving you more of an authentic experience. But also making these game modes where they're not limited to the main cast of characters, which is a really cool thing. So big shout out to Scythe21 who went ahead and made this mod, as this is a super big quality of life change that's something that Sega should have just done personally. Up next at number 7 is the Infinite Complete mod. This mod goes ahead and replaces Infinite from Sonic Forces over Silver, with having an option to replace either Silver or AI Silver, which is a thing that every single mod should have in my opinion, is to choose between the two, as sometimes I don't want to replace the main character, but I'm okay with replacing the AI racer. So I personally use it over AI Silver. But Dismisser and their team basically created an Infinite mod, which basically is the closest thing that I think we'll ever get to having Infinite in the game. And they did an incredible job being the best character mod in my opinion in this game. This not only gives us an incredible looking model, but if you also look at the Phantom Ruby on his chest, it looks like there is a design moving in it like the way it did in Forces. And I also love the way that they made his eye look on his left side. But not only that, they went ahead and made completely different Sketchhog stickers for him as well to match him. And of course, they even ported over his voice from Sonic Forces.
What would you like your epitaph to read?
Which makes him sound exactly like the way he did in that game. This mod is still getting pretty frequent updates and is definitely still within its works. But this is by far the most polished that I've seen a character mod so far, with just having absolutely everything done on it. Infinite is a character in my opinion that deserves a second chance in the series, as I think he is a really cool character at that. And I'm so glad that we get the chance to see him as a character mod in this game. But not only a character mod, a really good one at that. So a super big shout out to Dismisser and their team. Number 6, we have the On Foot mods. Now there are a few different mods for the On Foot mods, which basically allow each of the characters to, well, run on their feet, as the mod name suggests. But these mods are super well polished, and there's a lot of work that it looks like that goes into each of them. These not only look actually super good, and it actually looks like they're truly running on their feet, but even characters like the Shadow on foot give a really cool detail for whenever Shadow is surfing on water, he'll change to Doom Surf, or whenever he is flying, he'll change to his Doom Wings. Now, a lot of characters don't have this really cool style, but Shadow is personally my favorite of all the mods that he has done so far. And it seems like he is still releasing a few different ones, as it looks like he has done mods for Sonic, Metal Sonic, Super Sonic, Steve, Knuckles, Shadow, Tails, and Eggman. These mods are super well done, and there's a bunch of detail that goes into them, so super big shoutouts to the mod creator that went ahead and created these. The mod creator Hedge just basically made the reality of what if Sonic just ran instead of drove a car a reality. And also this gives me some heavy Sonic R vibes, so if you ever wanted a Sonic R remake or Sonic R2, this is the best way to do it, as it really does kind of feel like that old style of Sonic R. It does take a little bit to kind of get used to the way that they look, but they actually are super cool looking, and once you get used to them, they're a bunch of fun to use. Next up at number 5, we have Jasety's Tasty Jukebox, where this is going to be a music mod. And this honestly is a mod that I don't see talked about, and honestly doesn't have enough downloads in my opinion. There are a few different people that have kind of put their take on putting different music in the game, but Jasety just has a really good amount of songs in his pack. But I really like that a lot of them are not only Crush 40 songs, but a lot of vocal tracks from previous Sonic games. Obviously, having Crush 40 back in the mix is a huge bonus, as there are 0 Crush 40 tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, most likely due to the lawsuit with Johnny Gioli and Sega. So having this Jukebox packs is just a really cool touch, and it's really fun to have them all equipped just to see what songs you're going through in each race. And in my opinion, the way that he did it, it just kind of feels like the way that the game should have had a lot of the Jukebox's songs. This is a mod that I have yet to turn off since downloading it, and honestly, I probably never will. So this is 100% a mod that I do recommend using. At number 4, we have the Extreme Gear Edition mod. Now this is another mod pack much similar to the Peppermint Mod Pack, but instead this is completely inspired and based on the Sonic Riders series. And this is just about as close as we can get to Sonic Riders 4 at this point. as they really thought of just about everything, and it seems like every day that this mod just constantly is getting updates with them adding different things to the game. Obviously, the most notable thing that you'll notice right away is not only adding the original cutscene to the game, replacing the CrossWorlds cutscene when you open it up, but also the incredible music is back as well, with replacing some of the tracks in the game, but also the menu music, which in my opinion is the best menu music that the Sonic series has to offer. But of course, they also went ahead and replaced a majority of the characters to have rider skins, with some of them obviously being based off the Riders games, but some also being based off the fan game of Sonic Riders DX and Tournament Edition. And you even have characters like Sage that have a completely original design, which is just a really cool touch. They also did replace some of the AI Racer skins with replacing AI Sonic for a Riders cell-shaded skin, and also replaced AI Shadow with a Super Shadow. And they also went ahead and replaced Super Sonic into Super Sonic Cyber from Sonic Frontiers. I don't know if this necessarily fits the Riders style, but I do like it. This has so many great different looking models that completely match the way that they did in Riders, but I really do love a lot of the creativity that goes into a lot of these, like Vector, Sage, the Werehog, characters that were never in the Riders series or given a really good Riders look, just truly have a great looking style in this. And I also love that they took some inspiration from Sonic Riders DX and the likes of Metal Sonic and Silver. But it seems like every kind of corner that you turn within this mod, there is a reference to Sonic Riders somewhere. Whether it be the completely different audio to match the tricks, or even the dash panels being completely different to look like the way they did in Riders. Or even when you're using extreme gear, the light trail that appears behind you like it did in the Riders games. Or even changing Sonic, Shadow, and Jet to have Jason Griffith's voice, as he was the voice actor during the time of Riders and Zero Gravity.
Let's get going!
Or even the last thing I'll touch on, as I'm sure I can't say everything that this mod pack has to offer, but whenever you were doing tricks, it will actually give you a rank like the way it did in Riders games. This mod seems like it truly has it all and is completely just reforming Sonic Racing CrossWorlds into Sonic Riders CrossWorlds. I absolutely adore the Sonic Riders series, being my favorite spin-off game of all time. So this is really just a huge nostalgic trip, but also just makes my heart melt for seeing how many people still really enjoy the Riders series. So super big shout out to the Extreme Gear team, as they did an incredible job with this mod. And they're still updating it, as I'm sure this will probably be updated by the time I even upload this video. There are so many people that worked on this mod pack, and it truly just gets better and better every day. So huge shout out to them. But number 3 is a mod that I have yet to turn off since downloading on day 1 of the release of the game. And that's D-Ray's Werehog voice pack. Now, it's not only a huge bonus that Sonic the Werehog is officially in the game for anybody that pre-ordered the game, and I love seeing any type of unleashed recognition as possible from Sega and Sonic. But I'd be lying if I wasn't disappointed, and it's an absolute damn shame that the Werehog didn't get a voice in this game, as that's one of the most iconic pieces about the Werehog. You could have not only just taken voices from Sonic Unleashed and just paid Jason Griffith a little bit of money or royalties for that, or better yet, just have Jason Griffith come back in the studio and record new voice lines for it, or better yet, just have him voice Sonic again. I mean, I'd be okay with that, but not to get too sidetracked. Or simply just giving Roger Craig Smith to allow his take on the Werehog. I get that you would have had to pay him more money and stuff like that, but it would have been really cool to see him give a take on it. And I think he would have done an amazing job at that, as he has voiced really dark characters like Batman in the past. But back to the mod, this basically goes ahead and replaces the English or the Japanese voice for the Werehog, but taking a lot of voice clips from Sonic Unleashed.
Okay, let's go!
And he completely sounds great and just sounds like he naturally does have a voice in the game again, with just having a lot of grunts and different features in there. He does have a few different versions of it, of him having the Werehog scream as one of them, having a QTE edition, which will basically make the doorbell sounds that we heard in the QuickTime events in Unleashed, and then a non-QTE edition. I kind of switch back and forth between the non-QTE and then the Werehog scream because I think it's a little funny. I just don't really love the doorbell noise personally, but they're all great and all have different features in each of them, and D-Ray did an amazing job on this mod. Considering that this was a literal day 1 release, I am so impressed with how good this mod is. It honestly just doesn't need any updates on it. It's already perfect the way that it is. But again, is a mod that I have yet to turn off, and I don't think I ever will, as the Werehog deserves to have his voice. And number 2 is another voice mod, and again, another one that I have yet to turn off, and that is the Cyberized AI Racer voice pack. Now, Saitsu and Deadline basically went ahead and gave the AI Racers a cyberized voice of each of the characters. Because as we know, the AI Racers basically just make some weird gibberish sounding cyberized noises. And while that's fine and all, I don't really personally like that. I actually really like that the way that the AI Racer skins look. I think they're really cool just kind of having that solid color on them and also just being all cyber-like. But definitely one of the worst parts about them is just the weird sounding deep voices they make that don't really fit them. The way that these two mod creators did it was absolutely the best way of doing it. Where basically it takes the voice lines of each of the characters and it's still available on the AI Racer, but it just makes it more of a cyberized version of it, which sounds like this.
Think you can keep up?
I'll go easy on you.
Don't waste my time.
Hey, party time! You dare to challenge me?
This'll be over soon enough.
I will crush you all!
You aren't even in my league.
This is by far the best voice mod to release for this game, and is something that Sega should have just originally really did in the game. I don't really understand why they had to make the weird gibberish noises, and I think that this is the superior way of just having the AI Racers, and really makes me use the AI Racers more frequently in the game. A super big shout out to them. And lastly, and certainly not least, at number 1, we have the CrossTalk Renders. Now, SpaMight basically went ahead and took the renders from the CrossTalk, which is a YouTube series done by Sega, which basically gave us information on the game and the characters, but it made the characters look completely different in a different art style. In a way, they kind of remind me of the way that they looked in either Sonic Battle or Sonic Riders. But this is a really cool art style, and honestly the best the characters have looked in an art style in a long time, in my opinion. Now, some of these actually are original art done by the creator and its team, as not every character was featured on CrossTalk, but honestly, all of them really look like official art, and honestly is the best way to have each of the characters. This not only replaces their renders on the character select screen, but also a lot of the menu screens as well. And of course, the best part about it is the result screen, as all the characters will look completely different. But when I mean this supports every character, this supports every character. This completely replaces the AI Racer skins to having a really cool looking model of them, and also the DLC characters in the likes of SpongeBob, Minecraft, Hatsune Miku, Joker, and even the unreleased SpongeBob character. This is a mod that I will not turn off, as these look so much better. I don't think that the original models look bad by any means, but this just fits the style of the game so much better in my opinion. And there is just so much work and dedication that you can tell really goes into this mod, with a lot of these models just being completely original models at that. So super big shout out to the creator and its team for making these, as they have done an amazing job. And that's it. That's my top 10 of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds mods so far. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds has an incredible amount of mods. And later on down the road, I wouldn't mind revisiting this video and making a completely different one, as I'm sure there are going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of different mods by the time, say, the 1-year anniversary comes around for the game. And it seems like, especially whenever DLC characters come out for it, there are a bunch of mods that kind of hop over to that as well, replacing them. As soon as Steve kind of came out, it seemed like there was already a Minecraft Sonic mod available for it. The Sonic community is not only extremely talented, as all of these mod creators clearly showed in this video, but not only that, they're adding so much replayability to each of the games that they are modding in the Sonic series. There are so many times where I go back to a game because of the way that mod looks or gets me excited about the game, especially when they're characters that, you know, have never been playable in said game. I, for one, am a huge Mephiles the Dark fan, as he is personally my favorite villain in the entire game, so anytime I see a Mephiles mod available for the series, I'm 100% jumping back on it just to try out the Mephiles mod, as I know there's one in the works for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, it just has yet to release, and I'm sure that that would have been on this list if it was. But I also would like to say that I'm super happy that Sega also supports mods as well, as they really made sure to say that they're okay with modding and they encourage it at that, as long as it's not considered a cheating mod, which is really cool because that also allows us to use all of these mods in the online mode of the game, which I pretty much do on a daily basis now. It's really cool to hop online with the Surge mod or the Infinite mod, and while the people against me can't necessarily see that I'm using this mod, I can personally see it, and it really makes me feel like I'm really using those characters in the game. And I'm not cheating. There's no stat changes, there's nothing that's giving me invincibility or anything like that. It's just simply I'm changing the way that my character and the cart or the extreme gear board looks. and I love that so much. So to all the mod creators that have ever created a mod for a Sonic game, but also the mod creators that were featured in this video, thank you so much for the work that you have done, as it's incredible and we really appreciate it as Sonic fans. But let me know what you guys think. What is your guys' favorite mod you have used so far if you are using mods on Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? Unfortunately, these are not available on console, but for PC players, I'd love to know what type of mods you have been using in the game lately. I'm always on the hunt to use different mods and different things that are releasing in the game, and I can't wait to see what comes out in the future for the game. But with all that being said, guys, I'll catch you on the track, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!